Here's a question from Ron. He wants to know why his Filmora only makes small pictures when he's making a slideshow or a video. So let's show him why that happens and how he can fix it. So from the brief description that he gave, I would say that it's most likely that his project setting is incorrect. When Filmora starts up, the default setting is for it to be in landscape mode. Sometimes you want to do things in portrait mode, or perhaps you're posting to a special format. So in the project settings, that's where he should probably go first, just to verify that he has the proper settings selected. In other words, you want this to be the same as what your media was recorded in, or what you anticipate you're going to be posting it on. But you have all of these other settings. But briefly, whatever this setting, the project setting is, when you start out and you start dropping media onto the timeline, it's going to try to fit that. And the reason that it's trying to fit that is that's what in preferences you have under editing, photo placement. And it's set to fit. So if a picture doesn't fit the format that you've selected for the project setting, then it's going to put a black border around it, and hence it's going to make that thumbnail-like look. There are different options. There is crop to fit. If you select that, then when you drop something down on the line, your picture is going to be cropped, but what's shown in there is not necessarily the part of the picture that you want to show. It's a good option to make it fill the full frame, but not necessarily to show what you want. So if you chose that, you would want to follow that up with the crop feature and move the frame around so that what you have in the picture is centered on what you want to show. And the final option, of course, is pan and zoom. So let's just take a look at how this affects. So you have a default setting. Let's just go back to project settings, and we are set on widescreen. In other words, in this setting, if we take something, something that's in a landscape mode, then it's going to fit very nicely. It's going to fill the full frame. But by the same token, if we take a portrait mode photo, let's see here, and drop it in, then we're going to get these black frames around it. And if we did the reverse, of course, then let's change the project setting. So now we're going to reverse it. We're going to use a portrait setting. And now if we drop our landscape media down there, that same one that we had before, and we're just going to keep the project settings. Now we get this black band on top and bottom because this is now a portrait mode. And but likewise, when we take our portrait photo and we put it on the timeline, it's going to be fuller. Well, I guess in this case it's not completely full, but because this is not shot in a 9:16 format. In fact, let me just demonstrate that. Let's go back to project settings and let's choose the 4:3, which I think is probably what it is. And let's drop that same photo in again. And let's see what happens. Yes, in fact, you saw that this was shot in a 4:3. So if you wanted to fill the full frame, then you would have to do that. And we can see that the others don't really fill the full frame because we're changing the project settings. But the project settings should be set first before you attempt to drop a photo on there. So that's my guess why his photos are not the full size that they should be. Let's go back to project settings, and let's go ahead and set it for portrait mode or Instagram, for example. And we say okay. So now in Instagram mode, let's drop a photo in here, and let's see what it looks like. We have our black edges. Now we can right click on that and we can say, oops, right click down here, and we can say crop to fit. And now it's cropped. If it didn't necessarily show what we wanted to show, we would go into the crop option, as I mentioned, and we would move the frame around to center on what it is that we want to show in the picture. So the combinations of what you're selecting in your project plus in your preferences. Let's change the preferences so that we go to editing again, and this time we're going to go crop to fit. So now it doesn't matter what format the picture is, and let's take a landscape photo. Let's take a portrait photo. Let's change our project settings to 9 by 16 by 9 rather, landscape mode. And let's go ahead and take this portrait mode photo and drop it in here and see what happens. Now we can see the picture has been automatically cropped for us. So that's when we use the crop to fit. And again, I'll just repeat, if you choose this option, make sure that when it cropped the picture that you got what you wanted and not something that looks like this. So you might have to actually manually adjust. So the point of this whole thing is to say, when you film something and you take pictures of something, try to use a consistent format and think about where you're going to be posting your pictures. If you're going to be posting them on Instagram or whatever, use one of those formats. If you're going to be posting it on YouTube, use the landscape mode. If you're going to be posting it for somebody to use on their, look at it on their iPhone or Android phone or whatever, cell phone, then make sure you set up 9 by 16. These are the formats that you use. Anyway, I'm making it much longer than I need to, but this is probably what Ron's problem issue is.